Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the Friday Fireside. This morning, we are here with Anthony Goonetilleke, and I have to read his title because it's a business card buster. Group President, Media, Network, and Technology for Amdocs. Anthony, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So where are you now?
So I'm based in Dallas, which is actually nice to, I have to say, a lot of people complain about it, but usually I'm on a plane somewhere around the world, so it's actually nice to be at home and sleep in my own bed for a couple of months.
I get that. Yeah, nobody's doing a lot of flying anytime soon.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you fly to Tel Aviv, do you go up through JFK and then catch El Al from there?
It just depends. I mean, I'm usually a United guy, so I take United, but American is just a little plug for American here. American is just starting a flight from Dallas all the way to Tel Aviv direct, starting in October.
Wow.
So looking forward to that. But I'm pretty much everywhere: London, Australia, APAC, Europe. I mean, it's all over the place.
So right now you're here with us. So tell us a little bit first. Describe to our audience, what does Amdocs do?
Sure. So we pretty much focus around the piece around customer experience, focusing very much in the communications and media sector. We're a 35-year-old company. We have about over 25,000 people around the world, globally in 85 countries. And kind of our tagline is, our goal is to kind of enrich lives and provide a great, amazing experience to people using connectivity and technology to basically provide a better connected world.
Now, in the U.S., and most of the people who are going to watch this are in the U.S., who are your primary customers here? Pretty much everybody, right?
Pretty much everyone. That's one of the great things about working for Amdocs. I mean, we have really gold star customers, all the tier 0, the tier 1 providers in North America and the rest of the world. At times like this, sometimes it really helps to have great customers, and we definitely do. And also, we've obviously gone into the media space in the last several years, and you've helped us in that process as well. Initially, when we were carving out our strategy, and really, it's been a nice kind of foray into that space as well. Kind of given everything that's happening in the world and the economic situation and things like that. At the end of the day, look, connectivity, entertainment, how people are communicating with each other, these things are really central themes for everything that we do today. So it's a really important part.
So without naming any names, suffice it to say that if you're a wireless telephone subscriber or if you're a vMVPD subscriber, pretty much you're part of that Amdocs family on the consumer side and on the trade side, right?
Yeah, look, I would even broaden that a little bit. I think it would be very hard to find any, it would be very hard to get a cell phone service where you don't touch one of our systems. It would be very hard to be on any type of internet cable service without touching one of our systems. And also on the media side now, we deliver content to over 1,000 service providers. We work with studios. So even on that side of the life cycle, there's some point where you intersect with us, if you like.
That's cool. Okay, so now we have a sense of what Amdocs does. What do you do?
What do I do? Good question. Good question. So I look after basically our technology portfolio across the company, which includes all our products and our offerings portfolio. We have the network division underneath me, and I also look after the media division. So that's kind of the technology, network, and media hat that I wear.
Okay, so right now,
I was going to say the other answer was whatever my boss tells me to do. But.
Well, yeah, okay, I get that. And in my case, it's whatever my wife tells me to
do. That too.
Okay. Now, right now, we have a worldwide pandemic. We're going to talk a little bit about how Amdocs is doing right now and kind of what you're looking at moving forward. But let's talk a little bit about where the company is right now.
Yeah. Look, like I said before, I think first of all, it's really great that we have these kind of A-list companies. These are not companies that are going under tomorrow or anything like that. And add to that the fact that these guys are at the center of our ecosystem right now, right? I heard the other day someone was talking about basic income in the US and basic internet in the same sentence, right? So connectivity has suddenly gone from, yes, we must have connectivity to being the lifeblood of our country and our world, essentially. And not just for, people working from home, but, just keep in touch with family. I mean, you hear these stories of people FaceTiming on their deathbed all the way to, talking to grandparents to, just keeping businesses running.
That's right.
Imagine if you didn't have connectivity at home and what would happen to these businesses? So from that perspective, I think the people we work with, our customers, really at the heart of this. And then add to that the entertainment portion of it, all of kind of the media customers, the studios we work with, and the people we deliver content to. This is basically entertainment, right? So everything, from streaming providers delivering content, kind of delivering content around the globe. So in a way, I would say, it's a nice position to be at. I mean, of course, there's all these other things that are not nice that's happening all around us, but things could always be worse.
Okay, so I have a sense now of what you're doing right now, and you've got into sort of what your business priorities are. So let's get to the meat of this, because everybody I've spoken to, and I've been doing this now for 6 weeks or so, we're all assuming, rightfully so, I think, at least on the advertising side, that come the third quarter, as the businesses start to loosen up and the advertising part of their budgets have to precede the retail part, because you got to get people into the stores.
Yep.
So sometime in the third quarter, advertising starts picking up. We know that come Labor Day, and I had a long, nice conversation with the guy who basically runs media for the GOP. Come Labor Day, they're going to be spending a lot of money, and the Democrats are going to be spending a lot of money. It's going to get really, really busy. How does that ramping up of activity influence what Amdocs will be doing in the third quarter?
Yeah, so in a way, we're, like from an industry perspective, is interesting, right? Because we're going to have, even like when you start from the upfronts, there's this whole new definition of what an upfront is, right? I mean, some are postponing it, some are having virtual upfronts, right? So this will all be very interesting to see how it sorts itself out. But from our perspective, we're a little bit agnostic to it, because, we support AVOD, SVOD, TVOD. I would say for us, the bigger interesting piece of the puzzle is how the media landscape is going to play out. Because from advertising, I would say you're going to see this really acceleration, focus, and shift into streaming advertising, right? OTT advertising. How is that going to evolve? How are those standards going to evolve? How is the measurement going to evolve across OTT and linear, right? How do you get this holistic picture as more people go to its streaming services? But from our perspective, we're also looking at these other interesting phenomena, which I'm sure you're well familiar with, these theatrical release windows, right? My kids are watching. Yeah, exactly, right? So global day and date, theatrical windows. What does that actually mean, right? Like my kids are now watching, Trolls and Scooby-Doo and paying $20, and it's okay to pay $20, right? And you see the return that Trolls had, and you start to ask yourselves, well, okay, that's interesting. And then, you have Extraction, the Netflix movie that came out, and you see how that's performed. And I think there's going to be a new normal in the media space. The good thing for us is no matter how these streaming services and video services, theatrical services get sent out, we're part of the ecosystem, right? So we add value. And I would say a few things. I would say seamlessness and customer experience starts to become paramount, right? So we need to take all of these friction points out. So, these multiple authentications and logins to, these type in this URL so you can verify your device. These are all friction points that potentially can be taken out. So we're very much active in that. I would say, the phenomena of global day and date really becomes important, right? Because you're delivering content now globally to, 150 countries around the world at the same time. So how do you deliver this on the cloud at the same time? Keep it secure, So it becomes really critical, because when you're talking about a theatrical release going straight to kind of a transactional video, security starts to really, you need to think about it, right? Because you're going straight out there, and if you don't take care of it, then all sorts of bad things can happen. So we're very much focused on, looking at how technologies like blockchain can secure content, for example. Looking at how we can take all these friction points out of the customer experience, providing multiple forms of payment. Now, here's another interesting thing. Think about monetization. So in our world, you think about, okay, there's subscription, there's AVOD, right? Advertising driven, but there's all of these kind of crossovers, right? So I know, Amazon was, kind of has a couple of patents around potentially watching a video and the price going down, right? So you have this cross-pollination of CPG with advertising with video. We're working, I can't name the company, but we're working with a very non-traditional company that's selling services today that's interested in launching video along with their offering, right? So you may get a Spotify bundle, you may get a Netflix bundle with them, right? And it's very untraditional. So I think kind of the ecosystem of how it monetizes in the future, I think this will be the most interesting thing that happens in the next 12 to 18 months, because, what we knew before may no longer be relevant as we get out of this.
That's a really good point. And it's interesting. We hear everybody talk about cable television losses, DirecTV, satellite dish network losses, people cutting the cords. But fact of the matter is, nobody's cutting broadband.
But this is a great point, right? Like, I hate that term, cutting the cord, because broadband has become the anchor of the house. Right now, you can debate, is 5G going to provide, faster access? Will it replace broadband? Forget the connectivity mechanism. You need some type of fast, broad pipe coming to your house. Right. And as streaming quality gets higher, there's a demand from people to have this bandwidth, right? So I have 2 kids at home. I have a senior at home. I have a 13-year-old. They're all on Zoom. I'm on Zoom talking with you at the same time, right? We have multiple services. Right, all going in parallel with everything else in my house. So I think, if nothing else, the connectivity to your home, the last mile to your home, if people forgot about it, we're no longer going to forget about it going out of this. And I think there's going to be a lot of focus, maybe potentially back to a fiber rollout. I know we slowed down, kind of, if you look backwards, a few of the big companies slowed down their fiber rollout. I think, if I had a crystal ball and looking into it, I would think that this would accelerate, because people start to think, look, if anything happens in the future, in the past, people are like, hey, I need bottled water, maybe I need a generator. Now people are going to say, hey, I need a great broadband connection.
I got to be able to communicate. I got to be able to watch and get to my family and get to my movies. You're exactly right. Well, the one thing that I would advise anybody who's watching, if we're going to be doing release of movies on broadband, is find a company who delivers hot buttered popcorn to the home directly and put stock in it right now. You know what? The Amdocs future is pretty bright. And if I had a pair of shades right now, I'd have to put them on, because it's looking pretty good. Anthony Goonetilleke, I think that does it for us today. Thank you very, very much. And this will air this coming Friday. And all of our friends will be able to watch this, and hopefully they'll blow up your LinkedIn account.
Great. Thank you very much. Happy to answer.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks, Rick.